Hello, hello.
Hello, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Hanging in, hanging up, hanging down, hanging all around. Happy
So,
Cacao Day.
cheers, cacao,
Mm.
cacao.
We match. Thank you,
Yeah,
Cheryl.
yes. She was actually here last night for an event, and
Aw.
um, she's working on it because I have a huge private cacao ceremony coming up in a few weeks, and I'm like looking at the clock is ticking. I'm like, is she gonna get? Because she was gonna make some more of these for me, so
More.
I have enough for everybody. Because
Nice.
I just cacao deserves a special mug. And
Yes, it does. Yes,
yes,
it
so I didn't like I didn't really think about how soon this event is coming up last night when I saw her, but
mm.
hopefully
Mhm.
it's all gonna be good and she's gonna get this done for
Yeah.
me. But I wish I'd asked her yesterday for some reassurance, but it'll
Eh,
be it'll be
it
fine.
will. Put it out there. It's all going to work out. Timing was perfect.
So have you recovered from Monday Night Sweat Lodge?
Ooh-wee. That was a powerful one. Yes, slowly but surely. I still feel a little bit, hmm, you know, I'm just slower. Uh, the pace and my life and the thoughtfulness and the clarity, which we're going to get to, um, I'm seeing the quieting of my mind some because it was intense. I definitely, and with our two beautiful pourers, our chief and Brandon doing their thing, and the people that showed up in full force. I loved that we had like our core people there in the community. That made me so happy, made my heart happy to pray and sweat with them. So, it was lovely, but it was heavy. It was intense.
Yeah, I really felt that for myself. I have um, three people that are have some significance in my life that
Mm,
are going through really intense health crises.
mm,
Really, and so for those who've never sweat before, there are what we call four doors, and each door has a specific purpose. And in the second door, we always pray for others. And so
mhm,
in that second door, I was specifically praying for these three people.
mm,
And it, I can't even put to words like what I experienced because it was, um,
mm.
you know, like I said, these aren't like simple things that they're going through. These are major things. Two of them, I'm sitting in the space of, is it to their highest good to survive? Are they going to survive?
Yeah.
Um, and like that's a lot. These are people too that are young. They're
Mhm.
not they're
Yeah,
not
that's
old
good.
people. And so um it was interesting to me, because I've been praying for them all along, but to pray
Mhm.
for them in that space was there was an intensity to it that I wasn't quite
Yeah.
prepared for.
Oh, yeah. I felt
So
it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's heavy.
but
And we don't mess around. We got
no,
stuff
we
to
don't.
pray about. And, that energy is really, really amped up. I guess I'm trying to put it into words. It is hard to put it into words, though. The feeling is like no other. So when you're sitting and, all that steam is coming up and your heat is coming up into your body and everything around you, it's a thickness, if you will, like because it's a palpation that I do. It's a feeling. So it's a thickness is the best way I could say it. But the music is beautiful, the singing is beautiful, and everybody is so irreverent, um, and there to support, because it was really beautiful. Like when we kind of exited at one door, chief comes around, takes care of you or takes care of whoever is in need, and there's a lot of the methods that you see work, and it's really a beautiful thing to watch them do their work, their energy work, and their healing work. So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Good to be a part of it.
Yes, it is. It is. So, on to today's topic.
On to today's topic. Yes.
What are you afraid will happen if you become fully you?
Mm. Ah, I love this topic. It's always about living your authentic self and finding out who you are and not being anybody else.
Yes. And I will say, I don't know, like, I don't know that I am fully 100% myself yet.
Right.
I think of this more as a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it's interesting sitting in the role that I sit in here, helping people on their path of healing and remembering who they are and stepping
Yeah.
into that. Um, it's definitely, this is a very interesting topic for me, and it is an area that I see so much, that
Mm.
programming out there in the world is so strong, and um, you really have to take inspired action to get out of, you know, playing that role that you think you're supposed to play, as opposed to um, stepping into your authentic self, your gifts.
Mhm.
And, my wish for everyone is to realize that your special gift that you have is exactly what the world needs.
Yes. I
And,
love.
I think so often we, out of wanting to make others happy and,
Oh yeah.
um, the list of all the things, we be who we think other people want us to be
Mm-hmm.
instead of
Mm-hmm.
being who we truly are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, I see in my own life this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do feel good. I feel like I've really stepped into it, leaned into it
Yeah.
wholeheartedly. And it has been so freeing. And I want that for everyone.
I know you do. And you encourage that. That's what I love about being friends, sisters, community members together, because you've really harnessed a way of always encouraging those people around you to do the same. So, and myself as well, you do it for me, and hopefully I feel I do it for you. But it's one step at a time, one day at a time, and the growth is there. We've evolved. I've evolved immensely, I would say, in the past 3-4 years, as we circled back around from being therapists together, what, 15, 16, 17 years ago? I don't even know now. But we're different people. Forever, lifetimes. So, I mean, we're different people than we were all those years ago. Don't you look back and go, wow? And then we look at the pictures too, right? On Facebook, they always pop up. Like, oh, here's that picture again of us dancing in the clinic. Well, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, look at who we are now in our late 50s. I'm going to out us, but we've become different people. We've evolved, our ideals evolved, our thoughts evolved, our spirituality evolved, our careers evolved, and who we present ourselves to be evolved. And just in the past few years that we've kind of come together on a regular basis to join as a spiritual community. I was encouraged to speak my truth by you. And that really hit home, speaking the truth. And I've been doing it regularly in a more powerful, present way. And it's no different than maybe 20, 30 years ago of speaking my truth or wanting to. But the difference now as to them is, or to then, is who I am and how embodied the truth is. I don't, and it's hard to make sense of it, but it's like, okay, I was that person 20, 30 years ago. I was a mother, I was a daughter, I was a this, I was a that. I'm a reformed people pleaser. I'm always trying to figure out who I am in relationship at the same time, not upset anybody, not, and that's who I was. But now it's like, I still don't want to upset anybody, but there's a boundary that I can now place to protect almost who I am, so that 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 or I should say relationship and interaction doesn't press on me in a way that I have to bend ever so much to say that's not me. I'm bending too much. I'm allowing that person to make me bend in a way that doesn't fit me. This is the new me 30 years later, if that makes sense. So
Well,
it's like, yeah.
I
Sorry, I'm
want to
going
speak
on.
to, because you said like upsetting people and not wanting to upset people. I'm personally in this space of I don't care if I upset people
Yeah,
because that's about them. That's not about me.
right.
You being upset about me is about your issues, not about me. And so, what I don't ever want to do is cause anyone harm.
Well,
I
that's a
don't
good
ever
way to
want to
put it.
harm anybody. But
Right.
upsetting people, I love upsetting people. Because to me, that is a little bit of proof that I'm on the right path. When
When
I
you
am
share your ideas,
making
yeah.
everybody happy, everybody's complacent, like, no.
Mm,
Like, the world out there has already shown that all of us shoulding doesn't serve, because look at the mess that we have out here right now. And but we're so programmed from pretty much from day one that we come out of the womb.
yeah.
The programming is placed in us about how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to behave, what we're supposed to do. And
Right.
that, we don't know. We always have to look to people that know more than we do for us to figure out
Hmm.
what we have to do. And
Hmm.
that, so we go to school, but then school teaches us that we always need more school and more school. And, like I look at our profession of physical therapy, you
Hmm.
know, it's just created, went from, it was a bachelor's when I graduated.
Oh yeah.
And, now everybody has, is getting their doctorate.
Hmm.
And, you
Hmm.
know, we know from working with those new grad doctorates, they don't actually know anything more than what we did when we graduated from school. They
Hmm.
just spent more time and spent more money feeding into
Hmm.
the system that keeps telling them, like, for you to be better, you have to have
Hmm.
someone tell you more.
Hmm.
And like, one of my big pet peeves too is like people needing to be certified in something.
Oh well, yeah.
And you know you need somebody else to tell you you're good enough. You know
Mm.
if you're good enough. You
Yes.
know if what you're doing works. And but we've been programmed to believe that no, it's not okay unless someone else tells us it's okay.
It's true. That's it. Yeah. I mean, and it's true. We do get, and I initially feel that as we grow up, we are trying to find ourselves and follow somebody to find our way. And I think that's where, we get trapped into, I need more education, I need this, I need that. Oh, this person has 3 degrees. I've got to get 3 degrees to be heard, or to make my way in a career path. I mean, that it is a system. It is a system that we kind of bow to and have to follow or feel we have to follow. But I think, the older we get and realize that
Education does have its space. And yes, we do.
it does.
People mentoring us, absolutely. I've had mentors in my life that I greatly appreciate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For
And
sure.
but society out there is trying to push us into boxes. We're all like bending and contorting ourselves to try and fit into these boxes that they've created.
Mhm.
And what that does is so much creativity that
Creativity.
could
Yeah.
lead to so much innovation and progress, and but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
squashed by the boxes that they're trying to put us in.
Mhm.
And
It's
so,
funny you
you
say
know,
this. Go ahead. Mhm.
mm,
I'm laughing because I'm thinking of the kids today. I'm going to call them that because as compared to us, these 30-year-olds, 25 to 30-year-olds who I actually teach. And I think of my kids and I think of my son who, when he graduated UCF, he put on his cap, "School's a scam," and made these shirts, "School's a scam." Because, and it's funny because when you say the creativity, he is a creative person. He felt he doesn't need school to do the things he wanted to do. Now he wanted to be a filmmaker. He wanted to be behind the camera. So, but to get the degree, what he had to go through in terms of coursework, he felt was just, this isn't what I need, you know? And yes, there are things you have to do to take the courses and get the career. But the creative types, I could see it more of the box feels so, tight and crammed in that we have to do these things. But it does squash your creativity. And to a certain extent, he was right because the path he needed to take was a more creative one than the school institutionalized way gave him, because originally it was, okay, he's going to be an engineer. That's pretty much like a lot of math and a lot of science and whatever. And he's like, that's not me. So I was actually, after his first year of going to school, I get a call and he said, "Mom, I changed my major." I'm like, "Excuse me, what?" I'm sorry. I did I hear you correctly? What do you mean you changed? How about talking about this with your parents? But it was kind of, I had to wrap my head around, all right, what do you want to do, son? We're going from engineering to what? And he said, film. I'm like, film? What are you going to do with film? But I had to go, okay, all right. I know he's creative. I know he's very, very talented. And so I had to get behind him and say, all right, you're going to make it work. I'm supporting you. You're going to make this work. And sure enough, he did. So, I mean, that was a big lesson for somebody so young. I'm seeing my college son making a decision to go a creative route. That was not what the original plan was, or maybe the ideals his parents had for him. So, kudos to you, son. So,
yeah, I'm like, um, it's interesting to hear, like, there was that piece of you that still had that struggle, but there's that evolved Doris that was also like, I'm proud of him for being able to
yeah,
do this straight out, and
totally.
out in the world out there, I do a lot of networking. I'm speaking to a lot of women, and it's so interesting to me now. Um, like, yes, there's me as a PT that broke out of that PT cage that I was in, and granted myself freedom to do what I want to do and what fills my heart. But I'm also out there, meeting with lawyers, nurses, other professionals that have this very specific job title that they
Yes.
went to school for and worked in, and
Hmm.
seeing them now, like, they have built completely different careers outside of that.
Hmm.
Because, and I'm sure that, because when we're kids, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? But, and there's like
Right.
five choices that you get to choose from, and that's what
Right.
you have to do. And you pick the one that seems like the best fit for you.
Uh-huh.
But then you get out there and you're doing it, and you're like, yeah, I'm making money and I'm paying the bills, but I'm so unfulfilled. And
Yes.
so, and how many people, I have this conversation a lot with my dad, but that he's like, he's so supportive of the fact that I am following my passion. And, you
Yeah, I
know,
love that.
and so,
Yeah.
he
Go
was an
dad.
engineer, and, he
Yeah.
talks about that. He's like, there was like, he loves to solve problems and he loves to figure things out. And so
Hmm.
there were those parts, times in his job where it was like, ooh, a problem for me to solve. This is great. But a lot of it was just day to day monotony. And, he didn't really love what he was doing, and he's, sometimes has that, like, I had to do it all over again, what would I choose instead? And,
Mhm.
um, so I'm proud of you for being supportive of your son as he's choosing a non-traditional path and one that,
Yeah.
financially might be a little bit more scary, but
Yeah.
let me tell you, money isn't everything. And,
No.
I think about like, yes, if I had truly followed the traditional PT route,
Mhm.
my bank account would probably look a lot fuller than what it does today.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what do I want? A full heart or a full bank account? I
Right.
choose a full heart any day.
Yeah. 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 For
And,
sure.
the universe is abundant. And I know that I'm not going to end up homeless on a street corner. I know that that's not going to happen to me. And so, but am I going to be driving around in a Rolls Royce or a Ferrari? Not likely. And nor do I want to be. So,
No. Yeah. I'm okay with that too. It's not in the past.
so we've talked a lot too about, career choices and this, but another thing that comes up so much in, my daily practice here are people worried about their friends not liking them
Ah,
and
yeah.
behaving the way their friend group behaves to stay fitting in.
Hmm.
And I have to say, I don't think I was ever that person that behaved a way hoping that um, my friends would like me.
Hmm.
I definitely like I look back at myself as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, and I kind of know I was always the weirdo and did things my way, dressed my way,
Yeah.
did my hair
Yeah.
my way, said,
Yeah.
I'm also a Sagittarius, so we don't filter what we say. We just say it and then ask for forgiveness afterwards.
Yes.
um, but I see this so much in people that they are working so hard to make sure that their friends like them and keep them and I'm like, you have
Yeah.
to work that hard. Those are not your friends,
No, right. Yeah.
and also for looking for a life partner. Same,
Hmm.
what do I have to do differently to get this person to like me and to and to create a relationship? And like, if you have to work to create this relationship, this is not the person
Not
for
the one.
you.
Right.
And
That's
if this
right.
person is not doing the things that you want a partner to do for you, if they're not
Hmm.
responding in the way that then they're
Hmm.
not for you either. Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
I love that meme that shows up from time to time. I'm hoping now that I said it, it will show up out there again in my feed. But shine your weirdo bright so light that the other weirdos know how to find you. But really just um,
I guess
you
I
know,
found you.
woo! But for
Right.
real, like, and yes, I'm not gonna lie. I have gone through periods of my life where I didn't have anyone around me because
Hmm.
I was shining my weirdo light and the weirdos were too far away to see me. And so I did shine my light alone for quite some time. And um, part of that was also a gift because it it allowed me to have an even better relationship with myself. It
Hmm.
allowed me to develop um, courage, bravery to go out there and do things by myself. Like I don't
Hmm.
always have to have someone by my side to do things.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that that is a great gift. I don't ever feel lonely, even when I'm alone. I'm not alone.
Mm.
Um, but for people out there, like, hear me. If you are working so hard to fit in with your
Yeah.
friends or working so hard to attract a mate, you're doing it wrong. Like,
Mm.
be yourself, and the people that are meant to be with you will
They'll
find
show
you
up. They
and
will.
they will
Yes.
show up. And then it's relationships are going to feel so different because you just, like I am so relaxed in our friendship. I never worry, are you gonna not
Hmm.
like me because of something I say or something I do? Like, I
Hmm.
know we're, we're tribe, but we're sisters. Like,
Yeah.
you get me, I get you. And we probably don't agree on every single thing. And that doesn't even matter
Yeah.
because we get each other. And, I have had people around me that just like, these are not my people. And, as soon as I
Mhm.
recognize that someone's not, I just release it. You
Yeah.
know, I don't
Bless them and be on the way.
send them
Bless
on
the
their way.
way.
Absolutely.
That's it. I agree. I think you said something about, for me, the belonging, right? Because when we are fearful of losing the people that we have around us. It's really fear of loss, and approval, and all that certainty of having those people around you. And I'm glad you spoke to being okay being alone, because I mean, I had a different upbringing a little bit, or I should say upbringing, but a way of being in school and with friends. Now I'm a Leo, and not that I'm so a strong Leo, but I was beaten to my own drum, and I didn't really care who wanted to go my way or not. But I was a very fluid person. So we had all these groups. I remember in high school, right? We used to call one group the grubbies, and then the nerds, and then the jocks, and the athletes, and the and I just saw every group like somebody who I wanted to be around. Like all these people, all the differences, I used to kind of absorb myself. And I would go from one group to a next, and the group over here, these little cliques would say, "What are you doing over there with them?" And then I go over there, and what is this group saying? "What are you going to be over there? Why are you over there with them? I thought you were an athlete. What are you hanging out with us for? We're the grubbies," kind of thing. So it's like, but I ended up, it's a real funny thing, but I didn't feel like I was just belong to one group, because that didn't define me. And so that's the thing, I learned later on. And it's funny. I mean, it's just a funny thing. But in eighth grade and my senior year, I got voted most popular, but it's only because I went around and made friends with anybody and everybody, because they were interesting, right? And so when I clicked with somebody, I didn't care what group they belong to. And I think that when we find the people that we click with, like you said, just go for it. You're in a relationship to learn about yourself, and it should be fluid, and it should be easy, and it shouldn't be difficult. And if there's a difficulty there, you're looking at yourself, so saying, all right, what am I doing to create this difficulty? You got to look within, because do you want to stay in that difficulty, or you want to learn something from that difficulty, move on, or change the difficulty? Because if you really love being with that person, maybe it's just something you got to work through and come out the other end. So, anyway, I just got off on a tangent. But the fear,
The
the fear
tangents
is
are all
right.
good.
Yeah, the fear isn't the enemy, and it's like, lose the fear,
Well,
you
and
know.
I think this is one thing too, is like I don't think the fear ever goes away. When, like when I look at everything that I've done, all the risks that I've taken, um, I didn't like vanquish the fear and then did it. I
Mm,
felt the fear and did it anyway.
and did it anyway. Oh, good.
Because I don't think that there is this um, magic wand to wave and send fear away.
Mm,
Um, I think it's always there on some level, but it's coming um, to know yourself, know what matters to you,
mm-hmm,
and then to choose yourself in
mm.
the face of fear. Like choose yourself.
I love it. Yes,
Um,
hundred
but
percent.
there's this other component of it that is also so interesting to me with all the people that I work with is like when I ask people what they want, what they actually want for themselves,
Yeah.
most of the time they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's
Yeah.
like not only are they spending their whole lives, just going with the program, doing what
Mm-hmm.
they should do, um, but they don't even know
No.
who their authentic self is underneath all of the programming.
Oh,
And
that's
so, I think that that is an important piece. And they're like, how do I find
right.
my truth? How do I find that?
Right.
And some of it is, and because this is something that we also don't allow ourselves much of in this modern society, but it's
Mm-hmm.
about getting quiet, getting still,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
tuning in and listening to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like most people don't listen to themselves. They're listening to everything outside of them, telling them who they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to act, what they're supposed to say, how they're supposed to dress. They're listening to everybody else
Yeah.
except for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It
It's
takes
true.
takes getting quiet, it takes turning off the devices
Oh,
and
yeah.
spending time with ourselves. And that was, I talked about I had time where I didn't have friends. This was pre internet social media
Mm-hmm.
days. Well, it existed, but people like there wasn't Facebook and stuff like that. So nobody was just like hanging out there for hours. But
Mm-hmm.
um actually spending time alone with myself and really like
Mm-hmm.
noticing like what do I enjoy? What makes me feel good? What lights me up? And
Mm-hmm.
give me more of that.
Mm-hmm.
And um like also like I'm just I this is my thing. I give people you don't need my permission, but I'm going to give you permission to say no. Like I know I've been guilty of it in the past where like people invite you and you don't want to disappoint people. So you say, yes, I'm going to go to the thing, I'm going to go do it. And then you're sitting there in misery, pretending to be happy the whole time you're there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's
Yeah.
okay to say no.
Yeah. It
And
is.
it's okay to go do things by yourself. If they light you up and you don't have anybody to go do those things with,
Yeah.
go do them, and then you might meet your tribe if you allow yourself. It's like people
Mm-hmm.
are hanging in a group of people because these are the people they know, and they got to keep everybody happy. The group isn't doing any of the things that they want to do, and so they don't even feel good in the relationships that they're in anyway.
No. Yeah. And that's really selling out. But, and it's getting back to really sitting with yourself and figuring out who you are. There's an introspective process that some people don't know exists. And because, yeah, you're so wrapped up in what everybody else is doing and being like those other people to mimic, to try to find your way, it's like, I love that you sit. I love that you're a clone and just think about what suits you. I mean, some people like to journal, some people like to go to a psychologist and talk about these things. I always say this. I'm like, give yourself a year, talk therapy, talk through it, or do some journaling or find a process that
Or come
suits
on our
you,
retreat.
or come on a retreat, call it out. There you go. But there are so many tools to give people to find themselves, find out who they are. Just the prompts that are given to allow exploration. It's not that, when we have a retreat or we have a day of or a process or a class, it's all about helping the individual find themselves, not about what we want for them to be like us. No, no, no. This is about how to process through your own path, your own existence, your own life, what you feel spiritually. And maybe you don't feel spiritually, but we're always going to try to dangle it there because we know it works for us. Whether or not you grab onto it is up to you. And there's no judgment in it. Like, I feel like people don't even want to explore or expose who they are for fear of judgment. So, you know, take that to the bank, right? Everybody listening and those who will be listening, we want for you what we have and still are evolving to be comfortable in our own skin, knowing we're on the perfect path for ourselves, not asking for validation or permission, living our authentic life, and feeling that this is in perfect timing the life we're supposed to be leading. That's who we are. That's what we want for you. So,
Hallelujah. You spoke about judgment, and one thing I want people to understand, like when someone is judging you,
mm,
really about them. It really doesn't have anything to do with you. Their
mm,
judgment of you is their judgment of themselves and their discomfort with what they see. But
mm-hmm.
that's their problem. It's not your problem.
It's
And
true.
vice versa. If you find yourself judging somebody else, like
Mm,
know that that is an opportunity for you to look within and why am I being judgmental of that person?
yes.
Um, so I do want to talk a bit about the cost, the personal cost of not living your life authentically.
Mm,
And you know, you can go around and say, "Oh, it's not so bad," like I'm okay here doing what I'm doing, hanging with the people I'm hanging, you know, but ultimately that's going to cost you the joy and happiness that is your birthright. It's going to cost you peace. It's going to cost you your creativity. It's going to cost you the potential relationships with people that do light you up. Like,
mhm.
when you just keep hanging out with the people that are around you because they're the ones that are there and they're the only ones but they're taking up space that doesn't allow the space for the people who will make you feel joyful and lit up and free to be your authentic self. And so you have to make space for that in your life. um Also, like, ultimately too, this, I see this all the time, it costs you your health when you're
Oh, yes.
walking around and holding everything in. That energy goes somewhere and it ends up settling in your body and creating, whether it's high blood pressure or,
Mhm.
the list can go, depression, whatever, like, you name it. But if you're not allowing yourself the freedom to live authentically, it can take a heavy toll on your health.
It sure can. We've seen it. Absolutely. I mean, as therapists, we've seen it. And it's something that we uncover. I mean, I uncover it too just by teaching. We see people, and it's so simple, sick to their stomach or headaches or migraines. This is stress and pressure and all kinds of emotional discord that it's not popping a pill that's going to help it out. It's let's uncover the emotion, let's deal with it, stop suppressing it. And so, I know both of us have been down that road to help people along that way of, you know, choosing their health and wellness above all and not succumbing to the pressures of life, relationship, or what have you, because we really do have the control over our own bodies and how not to make ourselves sick. So, but we can do another show on that one for sure.
I'm like, all these the topics that we talk about, there's always room for more,
Oh, yeah.
depth on everything. um I think another piece that where we get stuck in not allowing ourselves our authenticity is the labels that we, the roles that we choose for the identities that we
Mm-hmm.
choose for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like the one that's like really resonated for me for holding me back a little bit. Like it's going to sound ridiculous, but my parents always said I was the perfect child. And so I
Mm-hmm.
took on that identity of the perfect child. And I'm not going to say that this hindered me hugely. Like I don't want to put any blame on my parents for calling me the perfect child, but it there at some point became an awareness for me that there were opportunities that I was passing on because I might not look like the perfect child if I do that. I might not look like the perfect child if I do that. And
Mm-hmm.
so not wanting to disappoint and take away this label of perfect child that I was carrying, you know, um, another one that's on the list here is the strong one. And I think we've talked about this in
Yeah.
other episodes, but um, when you are perceived as the strong one, and
Mm-hmm.
that's been always even as a
Mm-hmm.
child, like I was the strong one, the responsible one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, you know, there's in that, like, oh, I can't let anybody see me weak because I'm the strong one. And so I have to hide that weak side of me, and
Mm-hmm.
I think possibly, my experience Monday night in the sweat lodge and like, you know, kind of breaking down there a little bit and not being the strong one and just allowing myself to have that moment and allowing someone at, because then chief came and found me and it,
Mm-hmm.
gave me some energetic support through that, because strong people don't need support, so old me would never show that weaker side and I could always take care of myself. And no, I don't have to. I can be strong and still break down. Like
Mm-hmm.
we think that these labels mean that we can only be a certain way. And and many of my people know, like my word of the decade now, I'm gonna call it my word of the decade is both. Like both is
Yeah.
always possible.
Yes.
And so you can be strong and you can break down. Like it's
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Um, you can be the healer and you can get healed from someone else. And
Yes.
both is always possible.
Yes. Yes.
When it
And
seems like it's not, it is absolutely possible.
oh, absolutely. And we have to be fluid with these occurrences and these experiences. These experiences are here for us as humans to live through. So we have the polarity, and I know sometimes we don't want to live in the duality, but the polarity of both is really super important, because if you don't experience the heartbreak or the upset or the what you went through the other night, it's like, and what I have some stuff going on right now too. It's like if we don't feel these things and move through some of the difficulties in life that are, maybe sometimes excruciating, and then come out of it, we don't know what that feels like. And I always say this, it's like we need to know, because we need to carry compassion for those that are going through the same thing, because we're not getting out of this life without having these occurrences, these experiences, or watching somebody else go through it. And then if we can hold that compassion for ourselves, we can hold it for others. And moving through it is such a good experience to come out the other end, because when you come out the other end of it, the joy and the love and the happiness that you can feel in such a more profound way, because you've had such an experience of the other polarity, and so I think it's important for us to experience both. And because we are human beings, we should hold both, because it's important for our being to know, and as we grow and as we age and as we have more and more experiences, we are just so plentiful of things to share and fruitful. So here we are.
So we are kind of running out of time.
Yeah.
Even though time's not real, we know this, but um, like I want to, the final note that I want to leave this on really is that humanity needs the authentic version of you. Humanity does not need the cookie cutter, I like to say Stepford wife, programmed, shooting person. Like the
Show.
world does not need that. There's plenty of that out there,
uh,
and I'll use one little example here sitting in front of me on the screen, you know, the gift of your voice that's I don't know if I want to say that you hid or that you held back um out of fear, I guess is probably what held you back from sharing that. But like the world
mm,
is such a better place because you've freed that and you've given that gift to the world. And I'm super excited. There's going to be more of that giving to the world of that. And if you're in the Fort Lauderdale area, we have a beautiful event coming up on
yeah.
Sunday that you can experience the voice of this woman sitting in front of me here. Um, like the world needs that. And that's not to say like everybody needs to hear everybody's out, your gift, the listener out there, your gift might not
Mhm.
be your voice, your gift is going to be something else, but everybody has a gift
Mhm.
that the
Yes.
world needs to receive. And
Yes.
so um be open to, if you haven't uncovered, if you don't know what that gift is yet,
Mhm.
find the quiet space, find the silence where you can listen, tune in, and determine what that is. Give you the space to go out there and experience new things in the world. Like if you don't know what your authentic self is, you know, it's time to go find it now. Stop waiting, stop waiting.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and if you don't know what that is, like you get to go out there and explore. And you know, how do you know if you're not your authentic self? If you're not feeling happy, if you're not feeling free, if you're not excited about each day, if you feel like
Mhm.
something's missing, if you're depressed, if you're, the list goes on and on. If you're anything less happy
Mhm.
and free and joyful, authenticity is missing from your life and it's time to go out there and find it.
Yes.
If you need
Perfect.
help finding it, we are here to support you in that. We have so many tools,
Yes, we do.
resources, experiences to help you uncover who and what that is. And
Mhm.
so, and if you're not here around us, reach out and um, find people who can support you in that, because there
Yes.
are people everywhere.
Wow.
And and the other thing that I just want to ask for people too is like when the people around you are finding their true self, like
Mhm.
support them in that, cheer them on.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't bring
Yeah.
them down, don't be criticizing them, don't hold them back. And yes, because the world needs more authenticity. They need people
Yes.
stepping into their truth. And
Absolutely.
I'm waiting for it.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you
Thank
have
you
any
for
final thoughts?
No, 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 you said it perfectly to end this show. So I appreciate you and I appreciate all your encouragement always and holding space for those to come to themselves. So thank you.
It lights me up, so I'm always here to do that.
Yeah.
So, all right, reach out if you need anything from us. And thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next week. Have a magical day, everyone.